Hey everybody, this is Ramon Ray, founder of Smart Hustle Media, and thank you for joining me for another, what I think is going to be exciting discussion with Donna Moores, who's with Extra Pair of Hands. I met her at an event in the DC area, and her business seems to be on fire, growing, and she has such a spunk and a spark about her. I said, I got to get her and have her talk to the Smart Hustle community, and here Donna is today. Donna, thanks for joining me and sharing your insight. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be a part of your community and your audience. And I hope I can spark some of this energy into someone that's listening so they can be just as passionate about what they're doing like I am.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that so much. So first, let's start out a little bit about yourself. What's your background over the last few years? You know, I know you're a business owner of Extra a Pair of Hands for sure today, but let's talk about a bit, before that, what led you to that, just to get to know you a bit more.
Right. Well, originally I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And like you said, I live in the Washington, D.C. area. I came here maybe about in 1984, but I still consider myself from Pittsburgh, even though I've been in the D.C. area. And my business really kind of grew out of two things. Back in Pittsburgh growing up, me and my cousins were like the extra pair of hands for my grandmother, who used to be a domestic worker and a cook and all that kind of good stuff that women did back in the day. And we used to help her. She used to do a lot of baking, and we were kind of her extra pair of hands, more getting in the way than anything. But then one time back in, I think it was around maybe 2001, one of my friends got stuck with the Thanksgiving dinner and needed some help. And he asked me to help him, and everybody that was there was like, oh my God, can you help me? Oh my God, can you help me? Oh my God, you did a great job. This is just what I need. And I was like, you know what? It sounds like there's a need for this. Even though in Washington, D.C. area, there's a lot of big catering companies, but there was a niche for just when you entertained at home or just a small gathering, okay, or in the party room in my building, or, just need someone to implement what my logistics was going to be for the event. So I started advertising back then in a newspaper that was called The Blade. Which was predominantly for the gay and lesbian community. And they just kind of took it off. Okay, they just ran with it, and I was getting so many calls and so many referrals and repeat clients, and they were like, oh my God, that's just what I needed, extra pair of hands. Oh my God, extra pair of hands, which I think the name of the business really carried me. So I find that to be very important when you're starting a business. The name can be key. Okay, the name can be key.
So true. That's a gem.
Yes, yes, the name can be key. So that whole extra pair of hands just kind of took off like wild weed. And next thing I know, I had 10 clients, then I had 100, then I had 300. Now I have over 500.
Wow.
And staff. And like I said, our niche is the smaller things. Dinner parties for 6. Party room, 100 people, okay? Clients like the fact that they can just turn over their logistics. We're on top of all the details, and we're making everything happen. And at the end of the event, they're saying, oh my God, I finally got a chance to talk with my guests. Oh my God, you took care of this, you took care of that. I didn't have to worry about this and that. So that seems to have been the key that everyone has been so appreciative of, that they can finally enjoy their event. And the next morning when they wake up, everything is cleaned up, no dirty dishes, no trash to take out. And they just are starting on the emails with sending me out, thank you, thank you, thank you. So
wow.
That's been the growth of my business. And we are so happy, more than anything, I enjoy doing this. I mean, it's fun being at a party, but my clients are also wonderful, and we wouldn't be possible without them.
This is amazing. I'm hearing so many gems here. And one thing I'm hearing you say, Don, is that you're not, it seems like you don't have to ask for referrals, ask for appreciation, because you're doing such great work. And I think that sometimes we think that selling something is slimy, like you're doing me a favor to buy it. But I think we forget that if it's something you need, I'm doing you a favor because I'm solving your problem, whether solving your problem you need for entertainment, fixing your car, cutting your hair, whatever it is. So that's what I'm hearing. Are you finding that's the case, that if you guys are doing your job right, that it's not selling, you're providing a needed solution for the client?
Exactly. And like I said, the key was so many times when people entertain, domestic in a smaller venue or at home or just that little dinner party, or if you're a single person and doesn't have a significant other, you're doing everything. Okay.
Mhm.
You don't get a chance to sit down and talk with the guests. You literally greet them at the door and you say bye to them at the exit. Well, with our concept and our detail to making sure the client enjoys themselves is the fact that, like, oh my God, I never had to lift a finger. I never had to do anything. You were just on top of everything and made sure everything ran smoothly. Now, one of the things that we do to keep that so significant in the event is we always do a walkthrough when we arrive.
Mm.
So the client can show us, there's an extra fridge downstairs. This is where the disposables are going to be. My handle in the sink in the guest bathroom is
Right.
not working. You may have to go in there and shake it sometime. Just little details that a walkthrough will get us to know. So the client, we don't have to keep going back to them saying, where is this? Where is that? Oh, this is happening. Oh, there's extra toilet tissue is needed for in the bathroom. Oh, you forgot to light the candles. So the walkthrough, I find that has been, it's a must that when all of my staff arrive, the first thing they do after they introduce themselves is to do a walkthrough to get the lay of the land of
Right.
where is going to be and where everything else is going to be out of the client's head and into our head.
I love that. And to that point, does that mean then you have a task or a flow list or something? Meaning, let's say, and I want to talk about how you extend your team. Donna's not there. You hired somebody. Is there a checklist? Did they just do it randomly? Like, you know what? Let's do a walkthrough. I'm being half teasing, of course. I'm sure it's not. But how do you extrapolate that and make sure it scales, that everybody's following this template? How does that work?
Exactly. Like you said, I'm not always present. So what I do, I am always the one that communicates with the client on the phone first. And even in some instances, if it's a venue, I'll actually go out to the venue and do my walkthrough. So the information that I get from the client, then I pass that information on to the staff person that is going to work the event in the email that I'm also giving them the name, the hours, the address, how many guests are going to be there, if it's going to be disposables or if they're going to have the real china, if there's going to be a bar, if there's going to be children, things of that nature. I do the initial gathering of the information and I pass that along to my staff.
Got it. And then I'm curious, Jonathan, how do you... Oftentimes, business owners who are growing have a problem hiring. We think, and we are the best for our businesses. I can't have somebody else do my email copy because I'm the best. Donna can't have somebody else sweep because she sweeps the best or serves whatever. So my question to you, how do you hire Donna? You care about your clients. You're clearly a detailed woman, a detailed professional, all these things. You just hired Bob. You hired Ramon for that matter. And Ramon's like, how do you know that Ramon will execute to your degree? Let's talk about hiring a bit to make sure they get the Donna extra pair of hands experience. How does that work?
And like you said, at first it was just being me and it was not enough of me. Everybody wants me to work their party. Oh my God, can I have you? But then I realized as we was expanding, I had to get more staff. Yeah. So I started out with people that I knew that was in the industry, meaning in the banquet industries, bartenders, people that are servers, okay, and things of that nature. And as a prerequisite, I try to have everyone work with me first. If they don't work with me first, they will work with someone that has been with our company for a long period of time that can do the walkthrough with them and that can make sure they're doing everything right. But like I said, I only do word of mouth. I don't advertise. So I only get people that my people know that Donna would be considered good people. And so far it's worked out fine. Because like I said, most of the folks that work for me, they're in the industry. And being in the Washington, D.C. area, we got people that work in big banquet companies, people that work at the White House, people that work up on the Senate, people that work for influential people. So they have that experience. So I tend not to get anyone that doesn't have experience.
Yeah. And is there anything more than experience? I'm curious. I know I listen to a lot of leadership podcasts, and in your industry, it could be just the experience. But let's say, I don't know much about the serving industry, but let's pretend I'm the best cheese cutter, making it up. Play along with me. I'm the best cheese cutter, but I hate kids, Donna.
Yes.
I just hate people. Or, you know what? I don't like cleaning, but I'm the best cheese cutter. Can I work for Donna still, or is that a deal killer? How does that work? I don't like kids. I'm not a team player. I don't want to smile, but I can cut cheese the best. I have the technical competence. What do we do?
And that's a good point, because they also, when having experience, they have to have the personality. By most of our clientele being in folks' home, you have
Yes.
to have, first of all, the professionalism. You have to have the wherewithal to kind of be seen but not heard, because you want
Mm.
to be in there doing your job, but you don't. Sometimes the guest thinks that we're guests.
Yes.
Oh, come have
That's
a drink
awesome.
with us. Exactly. Come here. You want some food, and we have to let them know, we're working today. Okay. I'm
Nice.
sorry, we can't have a drink with you today. But yes, you're so correct. Their personality and their ability to work with the various, because like I said, our clientele is a hodgepodge of everything. We have
Yes.
children, we have the gay and lesbian community, we have the straight communities, we have doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, we have that single guy who doesn't have a significant other and wants to have an event, so he don't know how he's supposed to be. He just wants Donna just show up and take over and take care of everything.
Mm.
So that's another aspect of my staff. I try to pick folks that have that personality. We do have folks that only do bartending. We do have folks that only do serving. So I schedule them accordingly. I get a knack for the ones that, because we have a lot of events that has children, but mostly all of our staff, they fit in that. But yes, we do have staff that they only do bartending, they only do staff servicing, they only do the smaller events, things that may be required that they just pour wine and water, whereas some bartenders that need to be able to mix drinks. So there are categories of my staff, but you have to have the personality. And I must say, knock on wood, that I have been lucky that all of my 16 staff that I have, they have been wonderful. They have been wonderful. I think in the entire time, I might have had one incident, maybe two, where a client wasn't not satisfied, but he just felt that maybe his orders wasn't followed. Okay, meaning shut the bar down at 7:30, and there were still guests there at 8. Okay, which is almost impossible if you still got people.
Right. And that sounds like me, that it was a client issue. Not that you ever blame the client per se, but that you're proud to say that, you know what, it just wasn't a fit, or this was a little gnarly person. And it is what it is. Sounds to me.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we've been lucky. We've been lucky, like I said. And I think the niche has been the fact that I don't advertise. You have to be a referral. You have to be a referral, and have references and have a resume of where you worked so that I can check and things of that nature.
And is that the bedrock of your business, Donna? Would you say that if you had to look at your numbers or metrics on some computer dashboard, that the most important thing for you is service? Do you live and die by that? Or are there 2 or 3 other things that you wake up at night or you think about? Or is that the number one and only thing, maybe? Anything else that for your business, or we can learn from you, that's important?
I think it's been the service. I think what has made us so successful is that we have a niche. And all businesses are not able to find a niche. Okay,
True.
we keyed in on a niche that was very needed in this area. Like I said, you have the big catering companies for big jobs, but you didn't have a lot of companies that cater to that smaller event.
Mm.
Okay, and that's been our niche. I think the niche in the service, the attention to detail, okay,
Yeah.
and the attention to do all of the things that the client does.
Yeah.
Okay, would normally be doing. Okay, taking out the trash. Okay, wiping off the counters. Oh my God, the baby got sick and spit up on the floor. Okay, and we're over there to wipe it off. A lot of times, catering companies, they don't cater to that. They cater to putting the food out, doing the buffet.
That's not my job. Your kids spill glass? That's not my job. Who'd you think you hired?
You got it. You got it. We do it all, okay? From sweeping the leaves out in the front of the house before the guests arrive, to making sure all the trash is taken from the venue and put in my car, and I bring it over and put it out in my trash, because the venue requires that the client takes the trash away, okay? So, I think that has been our success.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. You're like the Ritz-Carlton of events. And I would bet these are my words, not yours, but as a compliment, I don't see you as a catering company, as an event company. I just see you as, I don't know what to call it. I know what you do, of course, but just as service. Just, we're doing this and we need it done. So there's no issue of, I don't do this, we do this. You need that done, we can't do it. I'm hearing that in Donna's team, if it's event related, to make the experience the best, we'll do it. We'll find a way.
Yeah, the name Extra Pair of Hands has kind of taken on an extended for us because we've had people to call us where they were coming down to do a conference in DC, and they basically needed someone to sign up, do the registration. They hired us. They have a sister here in DC, and they're in Chicago. They can't help her sister move, so they've hired us to go over and help her sister pack her boxes up.
Wow.
Client who started his own barbecue sauce in a grocery store, and he needed someone to go in there and pass out samples. So the whole Extra Pair concept, when people see it, they kind of think, well, maybe I can use an extra pair of hands with that. It kind of
I forgot about that. I see. Yes, that's right.
Yes, it kind of starts them thinking that, what, maybe I could use an extra pair of hands for that. It's not always food related or event related, but we have worn numerous hats, with our client. And this makes them, we've had clients that literally have taken us out of town with them because they're used to the service and know that they're going to have an event, say in their cabin up in the mountains, and they're going to be on their own. I need the extra pair of hands. So they'll put us up in a little house near the cabin, and we go there and do the servicing. So it's caused people to think, my God, I could use an extra pair of hands for that. So we've worn a variety of hats for our clients.
And tell me how you differentiate. What do you say no to, Donna? Clearly, I'm guessing if the Smithsonian called and said we have 10,000 people coming and begs you to come, my words, not yours, it sounds to me that you'd probably nicely decline it.
Well, you know what we say? We say no to maybe anything over. We try not to go over 200. I'll go to 300. Anything over that, we say no to.
Got it.
Because the other part that I pride myself in doing as a business owner, I try not to take on stressful things.
Got it.
Okay? I try not to take on, I don't do wedding planning.
Got it.
Because I figured you need somebody with the wedding planning mentality.
Got it.
For wedding planning. To me, that can be a stressful thing. And what keeps my staff coming back is they know that not that we do easy things,
I understand.
But step away from their busy jobs and banquets and come to something a little bit more sedate. Okay. So we try not to take on any real stressful type things where if people say, I need a party planner to find a place to get the people, a whole list of things. Not that we couldn't do it.
I got you.
Got away from those kind of things, that just to keep our stuff at a nice and calm.
I love it. And then what's something, let's go to the lower level. What's something you'd say no to because it's too small? Not in a negative way, but I guess what I'm trying to say, I'll mention it's not even your competitor, but I know you can handle it. Craigslist. I'm looking for 2 guys to just bring some dirty couches out of my house. Do you look at the job or is the client? Meaning, I'm making this up. If the president of Pepsi wants it done, we'll do it no matter what it is. Or is it, like I said, I need leaves raked up just at my house and I'm trying to get the cheapest person. How do you differentiate what you do and don't do at the lower level?
Right.
How does that work?
It's twofold of what you just asked.
Okay.
First of all, use an example as the president of Pepsi. He may require us to do something that is a little bit out of our niche, but I'm looking at it long term, where that same president may say, wow, they did a good job, and either pass my name along to someone else or may use us for something that is in our field. And then we also have the job that we don't do, like taking couches, but I'll go the extra mile and get them a reference.
Got it.
They will remember, what, she couldn't do it, but she gave me a couple of references.
Got it.
Like that,
Or so I'm clear, because I'm interested in the business, is that if it is a high-end client that needs a couch taken out of their mansion, because that is your brand. I saw your website, high-end and niche, that you may do, not because they're high-end necessarily only, but for the further business, or if there's going to be no business, would you not take the couch out even if it was, a high-end client, or just curious the nuance of that?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, totally. We kind of like straddle each end because I see things that are not necessarily in my niche have always turned into something else where they were impressed by the fact, she couldn't help me, but she gave me a couple references. Then Susie Q down the line said, you know what, my friend, she didn't use your service, but she called you and she was so impressed with X, Y, and Z. So then she referred me to someone else. And then in this DC area, we have a big thing on neighborhood things, not quite like Craigslist, but something called listservs.
Sure, of course.
neighborhood involved, and people go on the listserv and they post things and say nice things about us. I didn't use
Nice.
the service, but X, Y, and Z. My girlfriend used it, but X, Y, and Z. So they kind of spread the word and get us out there. Sometimes just of being courteous. And like I said, most times on my end, it takes me a couple minutes to say no. And then one more extra minute to get them a reference, that I may not necessarily have, but I'll take it upon myself to look up and get them a reference and tell them this is not a reference. I've never used them, but here are some options. And they're always more than satisfied about that.
Yeah, I love it. Let's talk quickly about. Just curious, what systems do you use? You can mention brands, or you don't have to. But curious, systems do you use? Let's start there. Like technology, how you run your business, how you manage it, keep things in track. Is it just simple like a WhatsApp group or email? Or are there any fancy things you're using that we should know about?
Well, we started out like most companies, just everything was mom and pop. Okay. Writing down this, writing down that. But as we got larger and technology got more user friendly for the smaller business like myself, of course, we, implemented the usual suspects, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram,
Sure.
your company, things like that kind of spoke to us, and, QuickBook, little things. And what I find out, like for instance, my bank, they're coming up with more and more services for smaller business.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger institutions are realizing that there is a large market out there for that small business.
Yes.
It's not quite making $500,000, but they make, $10, $15, $20,000 a year, but it's good banking experience and good advertisement for them. So, one of the things I'm doing in this year and the next year is I'm stepping away from doing so many parties myself, because I still do parties, even though I have staff, and I'm getting into more of the administrative part.
Yeah.
I've gotten so busy that I realized I've had to hire an assistant part-time. Okay. So, I'm branching out there. I'm starting to do big time things as a little time business. Okay?
I got you. And Donna, I totally echo that. I've been reading a book by Dave Ramsey. You may know him as a financial person, but Entree Leadership.
Okay.
And really myself, because I'm a small business owner myself, and I'm getting more into the last few months, I have to educate myself to be a better leader. As Denzel Washington said, if I need someone with an MBA, I can hire somebody for that. So I'm stepping away from let me learn Facebook ads, let me learn retargeting, let me learn databases, and let me learn to manage people and promote them and get them excited, if that kind of makes sense. Sounds like we're on a similar-ish journey there.
Exactly. And I must say, I got a lot of good tips out of your book that I read.
Thank you.
Yes.
Celebrity CEO.
Yes, exactly. You spoke to it. This is Celebrity CEO. You spoke to a lot that could be helpful for small businesses, because like you said, I had to step back and realize, okay, you've taken this far, you've made a brand, you made a name for yourself. Now it's time for you to get into the administrative to be on top of that. But if I need an assistant, just spend the money and hire an assistant. Yeah, it's been a blessing. Yes, it's a weight off of my shoulder to know that I've got somebody that has my back. And the key to that has been that not only have I hired this person, but I made sure that they do me cheat sheets on everything.
And that goes back to scaling and operations and making it scalable, so that when you hire somebody, you say, Joey, read this. Here's the extra pair of hands way to wash $1 million china or whatever.
No, you're right. You're so right.
I got it. Well, I'm telling you, Donna, if I ever need a backup plan, there's two things that I know for fact. A, I have no doubt that I qualify on the personality and customer service because I love it. The only thing I'd have to slide in on is the technical qualifications. So you'd probably put me in dishwashing. Maybe my wife screams, why did you break the next dish? So I don't even know if I qualify for that. Maybe I dry it. I work for one of your dishwashers and dry the dish for them. Maybe.
Yes, but you'd be surprised. Something as small as dishwashing has its priorities, because we have several events that we do, say for instance, at synagogues, large venues, that the person in the kitchen is the key person, not the person out on the floor. It's the person in the kitchen that's pushing everything out. That is the key person to that team. And, I got people that are key in kitchen work, including myself, because that's where I started out in the kitchen, that are key in kitchen work. So they have a high bar on that ladder for our company.
I love it. Donna, listen, it's been so good talking to you. Donna Moores with Extra Pair of Hands. Definitely check out her website, especially if you're in the DC area. But when she expands nationally, check her out there too. And I'm so grateful and so grateful for your time. And my name is Ramon Ray, founder of Smart Hustle Media.